let's talk about how to charge and use lithium polymer batteries. The idea here is that these are dangerous devices, right? They take care and maintenance, and it's important for safety and for the workspaces and for the cost and building the safety of everybody in the building, that you are well aware of the dangers and how to deal with the lithium polymer batteries we're using in this class. The reason why this is important is because, one, we've had 2 fires in this class because of the use of misuse of lithium polymer batteries by students, and these things can injure people, they can destroy property, they can cause all kinds of problems, and we want to minimize that risk, right? It's something you should know. Lithium polymer batteries have extremely high energy densities, and because of their chemistry, they can explode, they can catch fire, they can cause problems if they are misused, right? So we want to make sure that you know what's happened. And we have had fires, and we want to make sure that never happens again, right? The basic ideas here is keep the chargers and all electronics away from dust, water, and heat, making sure that there's no problems and it's no opportunities for overheating. Make sure that there's no flammable or combustible material near charging batteries. Always avoid short circuits between the leads of batteries when you're connecting them to a system. Before you ever connect a battery to a system, go get a multimeter, put it into the continuity check mode, and across the terminals of the battery input, not the battery itself, but the battery input for your device, check for continuity, turn on the device, flip the on switch, check for continuity. You should not see continuity. If you see continuity, there's a short, and if you connect the battery and turn it on with the short, it could cause a fire because you're dumping a bunch of current, and that's going to stress out the battery, right? Always make sure to cover battery connectors so that they can't accidentally make a short when they're not in use. Always use the manufacturer recommended chargers that we have provided available. Only use adapters that are certified and UL listed and designed specifically for the tool that you're using. Always confirm your charger settings. Don't assume anything about this. This is your responsibility. Every time you're charging a battery, you can cause a fire. You personally can cause a fire. Do not rely on the known the settings being right and just assuming it. You always know exactly what you're going to be doing. Never take apart a battery pack. Always leave it as is. If your battery looks like one of these, if you see that the battery is swelling, or the compromised casing, or it's broken in some way, or the battery leads are messed up or damaged, stop using that battery. It means the battery is damaged and it is in a state where it can cause a fire or an explosion or personal injury. This is a damaged battery. You should never use a battery that is one of these cases, and you should always be looking for these indicators before you connect a battery to a system that's like this, right? If you're storing your project, always make sure that you remove the battery from the project. It should never be connected to anything inside the box, inside of a locker, inside of any kind of storage area, right? It can cause a fire, it can drain down, it can cause a lot of issues, right? If you have one of these batteries that looks like it's failing, you want to put it inside one of these compromised battery boxes. You'll see it in the lab. Put it inside using the heat glove, make sure that it's not there. If you do this, make sure you let people know. You will not get in trouble. The last thing we want you to do is to have a compromised battery and not tell us about it, because a compromised battery can start a fire at any time. It is vitally important that you let us know. We will be so happy that you let us know that you followed the process. Please let us know. You will not get in trouble. Sometimes these things happen. Sometimes accidents happen. That is not a time to be shy about this, right? Let us know by calling Nicholas Beck at 480-310-3232 or Brickyard Security at all other times, because I know you can have access to the lab. If you put a battery in the compromised battery box, call one of those 2 people. Let us know if this is an issue, and we'll handle it from there. When you're charging batteries, use one of these charging bags. It's an anti-fire bag, and it makes sure that if a battery catches fire or it fails during the charging process, it at least contains the smoke and fire of the thing. Always make sure to close the zipper. Don't just pop it in there and flop the lead down. Close the zipper. This helps limit the amount of oxygen that goes into the battery area. When you're charging, always use both the primary charging cables and the balancing cables. This will ensure that the battery, individual cells in the battery are charging evenly. Never charge batteries unattended. You always must be in the same room as the batteries while they're charging. If you leave the room, disconnect the battery charger. Simple as that, right? It may take an hour or so to charge a battery, so plop down with some homework. Just make sure that you're there. Always make sure that it's charging at the same time. Batteries fail for a lot of reasons. If it's damaged, get a new one, right? Just trade it in. Not a big deal. Just let us know. If it's overheating, try to keep the batteries. Try not to run. First, don't run your project at full speed. If it's running at full speed, turn it off as fast as you can and check your program to figure out why it's doing that. You can overheat your batteries doing this, and we want to make sure that they stay cool. Don't leave them in a hot car in the middle of summer. That can also damage them. Overcharging, over discharging. Make sure you're always using the battery monitoring system. This little dude, make sure that, let's see if we can get a good thing here. Make sure that you always, whenever you're plugging it into your project, make sure that you plug this into the battery balancing connector. It will alert you when the battery levels are getting too low. Disconnect your battery at that point. Don't keep running it, because the further you run it down, the more damage you're doing to the battery, and when you go to recharge it, that can cause fires, right? Don't overcharge it. So always make sure that the LiPo batteries never charge to more than 4.2 volts, and always charge it at a rate half of the maximum rated, right? Half or less of the maximum rated charging speed. Be patient. Patience prevents fires, right? For more information about batteries, read the full battery warning details at these locations. These slides are going to be posted on the website, so check these resources out. Make sure you take the Battery and Lab Safety Quiz.